I think I got him. Let's see. I sent an invite. Yes.
Looks like something is working.
Oh, it says Martin's unavailable. Must be the wrong guy. Let me try another
one. Maybe can I invite here, copy link. Let me see if this works. I just sent him an invite for the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Let's see if this works. There we go.
There we go.
Hello.
Oh, great. I wanted to thank you guys for taking time to speak with me today.
No problem.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask about the recording process for the album. How long did it take to put the material together?
Oh.
I guess we've been working on the album for what now? About a year? Isn't that right, Miguel?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, a year or so. Yeah.
And,
we usually start the writing progress right when we end the release of a record. So actually, we are in the process of writing a new album right now.
and speaking on that, did you have tracks left over from the recording sessions?
I think we discarded 2 tracks, but we usually start from scratch and begin anew. So the 2 or 3 songs we're working on right now, for instance, are completely new tracks.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, and excuse my pronunciation, but I wanted to ask you about the song Sanguie Aurum. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah, Blood and Gold. Yeah, Blood and Gold.
And I wanted to ask you about that track, about the creative process and lyrics behind the song.
Well, I can talk a little about the lyrics first, then Michael can tell about the instrument part. But the lyrics is about the Battle of Visby, which is a town in a small island, Gotland, outside of Sweden, where the Danish king massacred half of all the males in the city when they tried to oppose him. They collected a peasant army when he came there to collect taxes, and his army was mostly mercenaries from Germany who has fought in the Crusades, so they were well-trained soldiers. And they had one weapon that the peasants didn't have, and that was the crossbow. So when the peasants came with the shitty armor, they basically shot them to hell. And after that, they cut the rest of them down with their halberds. So 50% of all the male in the town dead that day. And he graciously let them bury their dead in a mass grave outside the city. So, yeah. Let's just say that Danes were not the good guys in the Middle Ages.
No, we were not.
Not really. And the tale is that when he entered the city after massacring a lot of the kinsmen, he put a big pot in the town center and said when he came back the next day, it should be filled with gold. Therefore, Blood and Gold, the name of the song. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did the musical end go for you?
Well, given that I joined a bit later in the writing process, I can't really speak to the writing of the song. But I mean, I'm the bass player, and I mean, at least for my part, I think that this track has some of the more interesting bass lines on it. Because I was in that sort of zone where I could play around with it. Also in the early stages, there was a bass intro, so that also kind of laid the foundation for the way of playing through the rest of the song. Yeah. Can really give much more detail to it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And another one of my favorite tracks on the album is Fall of Arconia. I wanted to ask about that track as well, because it's definitely one that rang true with me right away when I heard it.
All right. Well, it was written in very short time, actually. We got the other Michael on board, and he just had it lined up immediately, basically. I think.
I guess we told him. We told him we wanted an epic Amon-Amarth song on the album. And then he went home, came back, I think 2 days after. Here you go. Yeah.
He was in the zone.
And I wanted to ask you, what track was the hardest for you guys to lay down? What track took the most time?
Vocally, I think it was... I actually think it was Sorte Grete or Black Greta, because the song has a very different vibe than the rest of the album. So to catch the same intensity and brutality of death metal vocals in a song that is so light was a fun challenge, actually. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, Sorte Grete, I think.
I mean, I do a lot of takes whenever I record, but it's the first death metal album I've ever done. So I think Sorte Grete might have been the one that took the most getting into in the recording process, because that was when I also, found the style for how to play on this album. I think it might actually be Blood Eagle, actually, that took the most of time spent recording, because I was doing a gig in England with another band. After I had recorded it, then I was like, oh, I found a mistake in this. So when I came back from the gig by plane, I immediately went home and re-recorded the entire song.
Oh wow!
And he was drunk when he entered the plane.
I woke up and I went through security. I mean, I barely remember getting home. But then, like a couple hours later, I had the song and I sent it, and bam, we're done. So I think that one was probably the one that, for me at least, took the most time and energy.
I also wanted to ask you guys about the album artwork and the artist that was involved. What was the process in that?
Yeah, the process was, the artist is a guy called David Trost. That's my daughter in the background. David Trost. He's also a tattoo artist that has a gallery called Dreamweaver Gallery. Very talented artist. And I was sitting talking to him about what figures on the album could be interesting to paint, draw. And when I came to the history of Sorte Grete, Black Greta, he instantly said that's the one I want to make, because I gave him the freedom of he's the artist, and I gave him the freedom to choose. So and then we just threw some dress and a sword in the hand of my wife and made a photo session to how Greta should be posed on the record and the artwork, and then we went home and we wanted to make a strong portrayal of her, because she is a strong figure. Of course, she didn't fight the battles on her own, and that wasn't the way a queen did back then. But she did rally a big army of peasants to fight for her and to fight for her son's right to the crown, even though she knew it was a battle she couldn't win. And she she was maybe not to fight in the front lines, but to be close to her people when they fought. She's also called in Danish Grete Springhest. I don't know, the English interpretation would be Greta, I don't know, jump horse? I don't know. But the thing is, she rode a horse to death. That's the law. So she was a vigorously strong, independent woman, and we wanted that to be portrayed on the album. Yeah.
I mean,
and what is the next step for the band? Will there be a tour?
As of now, we are talking to a couple of bands about making a tour in Europe. There's no question about if Vanir gets the chance, if someone wants to put the money in it, we would like to go and also to the States. But it's expensive to tour as a band, as you might know. We try to make it viable as possible because a lot of us has, you see, I have 2 children in the background. We have a life, and it has to make sense for us, right? So.
Sure.
But we are working on something here in Europe, and we have 4 or 5 European shows, and then some brewing as of now. And then we are actually just, like I said in the start of the interview, started to write a new album, which started 3-4 days ago. With the first tracks already forming. So yeah,
we were in France when we were starting a new one.
Exactly. So we're not resting. We are constantly moving forward, creating new material. Yeah.
I wanted to ask how the band became a reality. How did the band form?
Well, Vanir has like 2 eras. The first era ended in 2014. That was the folk metal era. That band started as a couple of guys getting together, getting hammered, and wanted to play some music. And at that time, the folk metal had like a big revival. So we were like, yeah, fuck it, let's play folk metal. And that also, that you can hear that in the first 2 records. They're very light, they're very fun. It's all about getting drunk and playing folk metal. But then around 2014, back then, lead singer who also wrote the music, he stopped in the band, and the rest of us wanted to play death metal. And that's when the journey began to what we know as Vanir today. And in 2015, Mads, Kirk, and Stefan joined the band, and we started to, form the music, today. So Epitome and Sagas is, for me, the sound of Vanir, and the sound you can expect in the future. We want our vision is to make melodic death metal, but make it chunky and gruesome. There's a lot of awesome melodic death metal bands, but a lot of them is very light and very high pitch melodic, and we want to make it more heavy.
Right. And I wanted to ask if each of you could speak on your musical development, and at what age did you begin?
Well, I started at the age of 15. Woke up one morning, I was like, I want to play bass. And since then, I've played just about anything, really. Like reggae, pop, hip hop, whatever. But really settled on metal because it's fun to play. And I mean, before I was in this band, I played folk metal actually. And before that, I played the progressive black metal. So really getting to know whatever kind of music style I can, because of course, it's important for every musician, but I think for bass players, because there's so few of us comparatively, it is important that we dig in and get to play many different styles. Now, of course, you can log into something that is that's more fun to us, but yeah.
Yeah, and my journey is I started a bit later. I think I was around 20 I started at the age of 16, but I was a shitty guitarist, so I dropped the guitar. And then I picked up the drums around 20, I think I was, in a really shitty black metal band. And then I started Vanir with a couple of friends, and I'm the drummer on the first 2 albums. But playing the drums takes a fuckload of rehearsing, and I'm a lazy fuck. But I also, back then when I played the shitty black metal band, I also was a singer. So I knew I could growl, and therefore I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll take the vocals when the vocalist left in Vanir. And I've been the vocalist ever since. And I also have another band other than Vanir called Lotan, which is black metal. So I very dug into the whole vocal thing. Yeah, so then I've been managing the bands and such also on the side, other than the vocals, yeah. So, but I've been a metalhead since I was 7 years old. I've always listened to metal, and I have black blood in my veins. I love metal, all kinds of metal, mostly black and death metal though. But I always listen to metal. It's it's my passion, I guess.
And along your guys' journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that's been given to the band along the way?
I guess there's 2 advices that one of them isn't given to the band, but it's stoicism. There's a saying that if you do things better every time, you're not doing it wrong. So you figure of speech. You try always to make things better than they were before. That's one of the key things I think that drives Vanir. Every time we make a record, you want to make it a bit better next time, and a bit better, and a bit better, and a bit better. We're not trying to make the big hit. Now we got it. Now this is the best record in the world. No. For us, it's a bit better than before, and a bit better, and a bit better, and a bit better. That's one advice I would give to everyone, musician or artist or whatever the fuck they are. Do the best you can to make it a bit better than the last thing you did. And the other thing I think is that you can't make anything grow without investment. That being time, money. You have to invest. You can't have a band like this if you don't want to invest time and money in it. Then just forget it. Things it's not going to come down from the heavens and then pick you up, and then you're a big star and you have great music. That's not how things work.
Right.
It's hard fucking work.
Yeah. And another one I have also taken personally to heart. I learned this many years ago. There is always someone who's better than you, and find them and learn from them.
Yeah,
Sure. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Even like I remember reading about stories of, Per, when he was drumming, he was one of the best drummers of our era, and he was constantly learning new styles and constantly developing and evolving in his craft.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you guys, when you're not working on music and you do have some free time, you guys have any hobbies that you enjoy?
Yeah, I have a lot of hobbies. But for me, I'm a big nerd. So being a metalhead and a nerd, there's some obvious things. One of them is World of Warcraft. Gaming.
Same.
And then I play Warhammer.
Me too.
Love sci-fi and fantasy literature, and I have 4 dogs and 3 kids. So I guess that's all my time.
Sure.
I mean, when you're not working.
When I'm not working,
yes. And what's the best way to get merchandising and a physical copy of the album?
Yeah, our label Target has a record shop. You can buy the album at, and the band has a Bandcamp as well, when you could get the album as well. And I think they have some distributors. Napalm, I think, also has it. There are a few distributors also in Europe, but Target shop is the way to go. That's the easiest thing, and then Bandcamp, because those money gets in our pocket.
Yeah.
without the middleman.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you guys if you could give a message to your fans, what would that message be?
Yeah. Well, for me, it would be check out the album, share it, tell people that there is a new melodic death metal band in town that wants to make it heavy and aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I'm very grateful when anyone wants to hear and share our music. I'm very grateful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, listen, the usual stuff, I guess. And going back to the things we talked about before, but never give up, work your ass off. Yeah, things like that. I think that was Mikael.
Come to the shows if you can and interact, because we absolutely love seeing people having fun.
Well, I thank you.
So
I
please
want
come.
to take a moment to thank you guys for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom. I've been looking forward to speak with you about it because it's one that had me totally immersed and made me want more. And go back into your catalog and check it out because you guys have done some amazing material. And I can't wait to hear what you're working on next.
You can expect at least the same quality and heaviness that you can take from Epitome. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on this note, also a thing I want to say, please do emerge on the lyrics and the history behind them, because there is a lot of very interesting things to learn about Danish Middle Ages.
Mhm.
And on the next album, I think I can say already now, it will be a concept album. As of now, we are working on the 30 Years War in Europe, which had a fuckload of bloody battles and political intrigue. So look forward to that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, my friends, for taking time to speak with me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
You too.
Likewise.
You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.
You too, man.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.